Our journey begins with Isaac, the son of Abraham, who finds himself at the center of divine promise and generational legacy. Isaac's marriage to Rebekah is marked by a miraculous conception after years of barrenness, setting the stage for the birth of twins who would shape the course of history. As Rebekah carries the twins in her womb, she experiences a tumultuous struggle within, a foreshadowing of the rivalry and conflict that will define their lives. 2 sons, 2 nations as described by the Bible. Genesis chapter 25 verse 23. And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, 2 people shall be separated from your body, 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. The birth of Esau, the elder twin, is swiftly followed by the emergence of Jacob, who grasps his brother's heel in a symbolic gesture of rivalry and destiny. This seemingly innocuous act sets in motion a series of events that will unravel throughout their lives. As the 2 boys grew up, it was pretty obvious that they were children of destiny, but there was a special purpose to one of them. The boys grew beautifully in the rugged terrain of Canaan, and in the special care of God guiding and watching over them. Esau, the first twin, was a very skillful hunter who was loved by his father, while Jacob was a stay-at-home son. He was not a fan of the field, but everything was going to change soon. Their lives took a dramatic turn when Esau returned from the field famished, his birthright on the line for a bowl of Jacob's lentil stew. In a moment of weakness, Esau exchanged his birthright for a mere meal, sealing his fate and igniting a simmering tension between the brothers. As their father Isaac aged and his eyesight failed, he called upon Esau to hunt and prepare his favorite meal before bestowing upon him the coveted blessing of the firstborn. However, Rebekah, ever scheming, devised a plan to ensure Jacob received the blessing instead. Disguising Jacob with goatskins to mimic Esau's hairy arms, Rebekah orchestrated a deceitful plan. Jacob approached his father claiming to be Esau and secured the blessing meant for his brother. When Esau returned and learned of the deception, he was consumed with rage and vowed vengeance against Jacob. Fearing for his life, Jacob fled Canaan and sought refuge with his uncle Laban. Little did Jacob know his journey would lead him to unexpected encounters and divine revelations. Along the way, he would endure trials and ultimately find redemption. Meanwhile, Esau's bitterness simmered, but in time he softened, and reconciliation between the brothers became possible. But we won't know this until they come together again after so many years. With the weight of his deception heavy upon him, Jacob fled from his home in Canaan, seeking refuge from his brother's wrath as he journeyed into the unknown. Uncertainty and fear gnawed at his soul. Yet, amidst the darkness, Jacob's path intersected with divine intervention. As Jacob journeyed through the wilderness, weary and alone, he found himself at a place where the boundary between heaven and earth seemed to meet. In the solitude of the night, he laid down to rest, using a stone for a pillow. In his sleep, Jacob was visited by a profound and mystical vision. Angels ascended and descended upon a ladder that stretched from earth to heaven, their radiant forms illuminating the darkness around him. This heavenly procession left Jacob awestruck, his heart filled with wonder and awe at the divine revelation unfolding before him. As he gazed upon this celestial spectacle, Jacob sensed the presence of something greater than himself, something transcendent and holy. It was a moment of divine communion, where the veil between the earthly and the divine was lifted, and Jacob was granted a glimpse into the majesty of God's realm. This encounter with the heavenly messengers left an indelible impression upon Jacob's soul, filling him with a sense of profound reverence and humility. In that sacred moment, Jacob knew that he stood on hallowed ground, touched by the divine presence in a way that would shape the course of his life forever, and he called the name of the place Bethel. As Jacob continued his journey, his path led him to the land of Haran, where his mother Rebekah's brother Laban dwelled. Upon arriving, Jacob was warmly welcomed into Laban's household, where he found refuge and a sense of belonging. Laban, recognizing Jacob's skill and diligence, offered him employment, and Jacob soon proved himself invaluable in tending Laban's flocks. However, it was not long before Jacob's heart became entangled with another matter, Laban's daughter Rachel. Enraptured by her beauty and spirit, Jacob approached Laban with a proposal. He would serve him for 7 years in exchange for Rachel's hand in marriage. Laban, perhaps sensing an opportunity to capitalize on Jacob's affections, agreed to the arrangement. For 7 years, Jacob toiled tirelessly, his love for Rachel fueling his determination. Yet when the time came for him to claim his bride, Laban perpetrated a cruel deception. Under the cover of darkness, Laban substituted Rachel with her elder sister Leah, who was veiled to conceal her identity. In the morning light, Jacob discovered the treachery, his heart heavy with betrayal and disappointment. Consumed with anger, he confronted Laban, demanding an explanation for this deceit. Laban, unrepentant and crafty, justified his actions with cunning words, offering Rachel to Jacob in exchange for another 7 years of service. Thus, Jacob found himself ensnared in Laban's web of manipulation and deceit, his dreams of love and happiness overshadowed by the bitter reality of betrayal. Despite the sting of Laban's deception, Jacob's love for Rachel remained steadfast. Resolute in his commitment, Jacob agreed to serve Laban for another 7 years in exchange for Rachel's hand in marriage. Thus, Jacob found himself laboring under Laban's employ for a total of 14 years, enduring hardship and betrayal in pursuit of love and fulfillment. Throughout his years of service, Jacob faced numerous trials and tribulations, navigating the complexities of family dynamics and the schemes of his cunning uncle. Yet, amidst the challenges, Jacob remained steadfast in his faith, trusting in God's providence to guide him through the darkest of times. As the years passed, Jacob's diligence and perseverance did not go unnoticed by the divine. God blessed him abundantly, multiplying Laban's flocks and herds under Jacob's care. Despite Laban's attempts to exploit Jacob's labor for his own gain, God's favor remained with Jacob, ensuring his prosperity and success. In addition to material blessings, Jacob also experienced spiritual growth and transformation. Through encounters with angels, divine visions, and moments of divine intervention, Jacob's faith was strengthened, and his understanding of God's sovereignty deepened. As Jacob's time in Haran drew to a close, his relationship with Laban became increasingly strained. Despite Jacob's faithful service and dedication, Laban continued to exploit him for his own gain, changing his wages and attempting to cheat him out of his rightful inheritance. Feeling oppressed and disillusioned by Laban's deceitful tactics, Jacob made the decision to leave Haran and return to his homeland. However, as he embarked on his journey, a sense of trepidation weighed heavily upon him. Not only did he face the uncertainty of what awaited him back in Canaan, but he also grappled with the looming specter of his past, his troubled relationship with his brother Esau. The thought of confronting Esau, whom he had wronged and deceived years earlier, filled Jacob with overwhelming anxiety and fear. As he drew closer to the land of his birth, the weight of his past transgressions bore down upon him, threatening to engulf him in a sea of guilt and regret. When news reached Jacob that Esau was approaching with a large company of men, his heart sank, and he was consumed with dread. Fearing for his life and the safety of his family, Jacob took desperate measures to protect them, dividing them into separate groups and sending lavish gifts ahead as a gesture of appeasement. As Jacob stood on the banks of the Jabbok River, grappling with his inner turmoil, he found himself overwhelmed by a sense of isolation and vulnerability. Alone in the darkness, Jacob awaited the inevitable confrontation with Esau, his mind consumed with apprehension and uncertainty. I assumed that he must have been calling upon the God of his fathers Abraham and Isaac, and suddenly he had an encounter. An angel appeared and Jacob would not let him go. With every ounce of strength and determination, Jacob grappled with the angel, refusing to let go until he received a blessing. As the struggle reached its climax, the divine being touched the socket of Jacob's hip, dislocating it with a single touch. Despite the pain and agony, Jacob clung to his adversary, demanding a blessing. Recognizing Jacob's unwavering resolve and determination, the angel relented and bestowed upon him a new name, Israel, which in Greek means struggles with God, or triumphant with God. He also named the place Peniel, which means, I saw God face to face and my life was spared. With his identity forever altered, Jacob emerged from the encounter limping but victorious, his spirit marked by resilience and divine favor. The physical injury he sustained served as a tangible reminder of his encounter with the divine, a testament to his faith and perseverance in the face of adversity. In that sacred moment, Jacob's destiny was sealed, and he was transformed into a patriarch of his people, a man who had wrestled with angels and emerged victorious. As he prepared to face Esau, Jacob did so with a newfound sense of purpose and conviction, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and faith. As we reflect on Jacob's story, we are reminded of the transformative power of faith and perseverance in the face of adversity. Like Jacob, we may find ourselves grappling with our own struggles and challenges, but through it all, may we hold fast to our faith and trust in the guiding hand of the divine. Thank you for watching my video again. If you have been blessed, share this video with your friends and family and stay happy in God's love.